Hey YouTubers, Shy Cubs Fan 14 or John here, bringing you some gameplay from Outpost, but that's not what I wanted to talk about tonight. I want to follow up on the video I did yesterday. I was speaking about it being the final day to file your taxes or to get an extension. Today I found out that about 60,000 active duty service members and reservists owe Uncle Sam roughly $390 million in back taxes. The reason for this is the confusion caused by frequent overseas deployments and changing addresses, or so says the IRS. An H&R Block tax research analyst commented that the military tax returns are a little more complicated. Among the reasons service members are susceptible to tax troubles, confusion over eligibility rules for a tax break or income earned while serving in a combat zone, frequent moves that increase the odds that tax documents are mailed to an old address, and the risk of deployed troops missing deadlines for responses to the IRS's inquiries. Straighten out the problem can be a headache for service members. Navy Lieutenant Commander Stephen Millard, who had tax problems a few years ago, blamed it on back-to-back deployments. He said it took him over 2 years to clear up a post-deployment late filing and get the money back he had submitted to stop the insanity of fines and interest, which I can appreciate that, having experienced that myself. The good news is that the IRS is required to notify military financial service officers when a service member is found to be delinquent on their taxes. The military then in turn conducts an investigation, and if it discovers the service member is deployed or hospitalized because of a combat injury, it will seek a halt to the IRS enforcement actions. One common issue is the combat tax exclusion. The military has designed numerous zones throughout the world for this benefit, but restrictions and conditions do apply, and the amounts of income excluded can differ according to government figures. Despite all these problems, the delinquency rate among service members is only about 2%. The delinquency rate for civilian federal employees is almost 3%, and military retirees top out at about 4% and owe about $1.5 billion in back taxes. So this is my question to you. Should the people serving in the military even be taxed? They serve in harm's way and they make pennies, but they're taxed on it. What's your opinion? Leave me a comment below and let me know what you think. The next thing I want to talk about is a true American hero. On Monday, the White House announced it will be awarding a Medal of Honor posthumously to a soldier who repeatedly charged at NVA forces during an ambush in Cambodia. On May 10, 1970, Army Specialist Leslie Sabo Jr. from Elwood City, Pennsylvania, his platoon was pursuing NVA forces in the San River Valley in Cambodia when they were ambushed by a larger NVA force. Sabo immediately launched a counterattack and killed several enemy soldiers. According to the White House, he rushed another oncoming force in order to draw fire away from other American troops. As he was resupplying ammunition, a hand grenade landed near him. Without hesitating, he picked it up and he threw it back. And then he shielded a fellow soldier with his own body. He was wounded from the blast but continued to fight. Sabo did not evacuate with the other wounded soldiers when the medevac choppers arrived. Instead, he chose to provide cover for them as they lifted off. He continued to provide cover for the exposed choppers until he ran out of ammunition. In a final action, he charged an NVA bunker. He was wounded several more times by automatic fire. Sabo crawled to the bunker and threw one more grenade inside. The blast killed the occupants at the cost of his own life. The ambush that day took the lives of 7 platoon members, and another 28 were injured. Sabo is credited with preventing additional casualties and allowing the medevacs to evacuate more seriously wounded troops. He was posthumously promoted to sergeant and was recommended for the Medal of Honor by his company commander, but the accounts of his bravery were lost for several decades in military bureaucracy. I wonder if it might have something to do with the fact that in 1970, U.S. troops were going into Cambodia when that might not have been a very popular thing. The records reemerged in 1999 when a writer for a military magazine was researching Vietnam-era Medal of Honor winners at the National Archives. The writer, his name is Alton Mab, was also a Vietnam veteran. Mab published Sable's exploit and wrote U.S. Congresswoman Corinne Brown, who's from the state of Florida, and he asked her to forward the recommendation on through. She lobbied the Department of Defense, and in 2006, the Secretary of the Army, Francis Harvey, recommended that Sabo receive the Medal of Honor. There was a statute of limitations on the amount of time that someone could receive the Medal of Honor, but they passed a law in 2008 that took that statute of limitations away, which opened up the ability for Sabo to receive the Medal of Honor. President Obama will present the Medal of Honor, the military's highest award for combat valor, to Sabo's family on May 16th at the White House. Sabo's widow, Rose Sabo Brown, and his brother, George Sabo, will attend the ceremony. The award will be given 42 years after his brave actions. Rose Sabo Brown, his widow, they married right after he got out of boot camp, and they got to spend 2 days together. He went to his military training school, which was in Fort Benning, Georgia. He was in the 101st Airborne Division and did his infantry school. And he got a 30-day liberty to spend with her before he shipped off to Vietnam. So they spent 30 days together prior to him going to Vietnam, and she never saw him again. He died while he was there on his tour of duty. The family didn't even know about his actions until 1999, 29 years after what happened. I know that I'll be watching this ceremony on May 16th when President Obama gives this distinguished award away. So I'd like to thank you guys for stopping by. Once again, if you have a comment on Sergeant Sabo's story, please leave it. If you have a comment on the video, if you have a comment on the commentary, anything that you have at the bottom, please leave it. I'd appreciate it.